Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
And John Deaton here just posting this perfect example of why to never listen to what they say. Goldman Sachs is likely already heavy into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens. And so just to put this into perspective here, Goldman Sachs, among other major US banks, have been talking about getting into cryptocurrency over the last year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years. So for them to turn around and say this just sounds like, yeah, you should be doing the opposite. The moment Goldman Sachs recommends that people should go all in on crypto is the exact same time to sell your cryptocurrency. And so he's just retweeting out Digital Asset Buy's tweet here. Most cryptocurrency will crash to zero, claims Goldman Sachs. Now, this was from an older article, but I really think it does speak volumes to where institutions are in now with regards to their cryptocurrency investments. Also, let's consider what is happening around the world. This is breaking news from Japan, from Macatak XRP. 31 regulated Japanese cryptocurrency exchanges to list Ripple XRP by the end of the month. Now, we know Japan has been very XRP friendly. However, this is a brand new development in that part of the world. The Japan Virtual and Crypto Assets Exchange Association, a self-regulatory organization for the Japanese cryptocurrency industry, has announced that Ripple XRP alongside 17 other cryptocurrencies will be listed across various crypto exchanges in Japan. According to the report published by the Nikkei, the JVCEA, a group of 31 cryptocurrency exchanges, said in an online presentation that it will release a green list of 18 cryptocurrencies that will be listed across the Japanese trading platforms by month's end. Prior to the announcement, before new cryptocurrencies were listed on any of the 31 Japanese trading platforms, cryptocurrency developers were required to go through a screening process. So it's looking as though they're not going one by one anymore. They are greenlighting a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies, realizing obviously that there is a high demand for cryptocurrency trading in Japan. And so here's what's happening. The regulatory body observed that it was lagging behind in its number of supported cryptocurrencies compared to what is observed on other trading platforms outside Japan. Cryptocurrencies considered to be added to the green list are tokens and coins that are widely adopted and available for trading across 3 unregulated platforms operating outside Japan. So clearly Japan wants to, doesn't want to be left behind, I guess, in the dust when it comes to cryptocurrency trading. They want to have that liquidity available, have the wide variety of cryptocurrencies available for their people to be able to trade. And XRP, one of those green lit cryptocurrencies, along 17 others. I'd be curious to know what the 17 other cryptocurrencies are, if any of them include World Economic Forum coins, namely Solana, Algorand, I believe XLM is likely on the list. Nevertheless, I'm just speculating, do not know what that list is. Anyway, wanted to thank Macatak XRP for posting that. And guys, this is another big development that we're seeing with regards to global news and how this is likely going to affect world economies. This coming from Professor Richard Werner. Brilliant move from Vladimir Putin to sell Russian energy and commodities only against rubles from now on. So now Putin is saying, forget about the US dollar. If you want to buy oil or energy from Russia, you have to use the ruble. So ruble demand has boosted. This is the end of the petrodollar. Russia has adopted the former US petrocurrency policy. The West is now scrambling for rubles. So we did see a sharp uptick. Let me just bring up ruble to USD. Originally, when this conflict was announced, we did see a sharp decline for rubles. So I have rubles against the US dollar. And now we're seeing a significant rebound of the Russian ruble against the US greenback. I don't doubt that this is going to have a big effect, not just on the US, but on global markets, considering how many countries there are worldwide that have been relying on the US dollar for trading purposes over several decades now. And so here is the announcement from Vladimir Putin.
We'll transition to charging supplies for natural gas and other raw materials in Russian rubles when dealing with unfriendly countries. Russia, of course, will continue supplying natural gas and will respect all the obligations and the pricing under the contracts that we have signed. Unlike some of our colleagues, we treasure our reputation as a reliable supplier and a reliable partner This only concerns the currency in which we will transact these payments. We will transition to rubles.
So they are transitioning to rubles. Brilliant. Asks XRP Darren. Seems like an obvious play. Not sure why it's taken this long. Teza Keneza saying down here, a bit late to the game, just as the world is going off fossil fuel and going green. It'll just speed up the process. So another perspective on that. I mean, personally, I don't think we are getting off fossil fuels anytime soon. And so a lot of people chiming in on this. I will link this tweet thread in the description of the video. So here is the official article here. Putin demands unfriendly countries pay for Russian gas in rubles. So he's also stating that, and you heard it in the clip, unfriendly countries only. And just down here, the new requirement appeared aimed at propping up the flagging Russian currency, the ruble, by increasing demand for it. Its value gained against the dollar and the euro following Putin's announcement. Natural gas prices surged in Europe, where Russia has supplied about 45% of imports. So an interesting and very strategic development, I think, on Russia's behalf. What is this going to mean for the world economy? Does this mean we're getting closer to perhaps a world where there is no world reserve currency, or maybe the world reserve currency is going to change? How does this affect XRP in particular? Well, Wrath of Kahneman here giving his opinion. He says, I know this won't be popular, but for what it's worth, I don't think Russia's move to only accept rubles for oil has any bearing on XRP. First, you have to understand there isn't near the liquidity necessary yet. So, you know, that is one thing that we have to keep in mind. XRP, as great as it is, and as much as Ripple has tried to bolster the infrastructure for use cases on the XRPL, we just do not have the liquidity. I mean, we might one day, we will one day, I'm sure, the liquidity hub, the next step in Ripple's plans to produce more liquidity for XRP. But that is, according to Wrath of Kahneman, one of the hurdles that we are seeing today on the ledger side for such a thing, he continues. Second, Russia is doing this to prop the ruble value up. And so, as I just demonstrated in this chart here, ruble value was slipping severely. And after the announcement, they also mentioned it in this article, after the announcement, it did prop up the ruble's price. I mean, whether that is going to be a temporary thing or not is still yet to be determined. A neutral go-between negates the immediate impact of the move on their end. Using XRP would require rubles to purchase it and other governments to accept it in return. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The announcement adds to the incentive of neutral assets benefiting XRP in the long run, but there is no way the world could adopt XRP to get to Russia's fossil fuels today. And given the regulatory climate, wouldn't XRP then also be sanctioned? And then Wrath of Kahneman states, but a government using it is different. At this point, there are more robust options. Germany signed with Qatar, US asking Japan suppliers to redirect the EU. The EU doesn't need XRP to fix things, well, at least not yet, especially if it angers various allies while profiting. So a lot of socio-political aspects, a lot of moving parts here in this Russia world situation that are going to have a bearing on how the world moves forward with their energy supply. He goes on to say, I believe it is a short-term Russia move that will run out of steam within the year, damaging the ruble value in the long run. So ultimately, Wrath of Kahneman is saying that in the long run, just bring up the ruble chart again, in the long run, what we could see is ultimately, wow, that looks terrible. Ultimately, what we could see is, whoops, let me just bring this up. Ruble, all I was going to do was see something like this and then the ruble collapse even further. He goes on to say, and might the real XRP play be through India right now with their Russian agreement? Of course, they have been notoriously tight about crypto. So not FUD, just trying to be realistic. If I'm wrong, fantastic. Remember, I have no insight nor training or finance on geopolitics. However, the Wrath of Kahneman is a well-read individual. I mean, his research and insight on a lot of these things is second to none. He does remain excited for the many XRP use cases. I think XLS-20 is going to impact things in a way we can see. So always looking forward to that. However, with regards to this Russia situation, it may have an impact on the short term, but with regards to XRP utility, probably will have no bearing on it. And, the fact that this is likely a short-term play for Russia likely will not have an impact on longer-term markets. Also just wanted to mention this because this just came out and I saw a lot of people in the XRP community were a little, I don't know what I would call it, perhaps a little frightened, perhaps a little concerned, I suppose, about what this could mean. So we know Ripple is partnered with so many central banks around the world, and then this article comes out. It's almost kind of like a slap in the face. The Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub, a company owned by 63 central banks representing countries that make up 95% of the global GDP, is creating a platform for international payments that would directly compete with Ripple. So first off, is this even true? Let's go through the article. This has to do with Project Dunbar, which I know was announced, I think last year. In a press release, the BIS announced that the central banks of Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and South Africa were developing a shared platform that could enable international settlements using digital currencies. The aim of the project is to facilitate direct cross-border transactions between financial institutions in different currencies in a cheap and efficient manner. So on the surface, that sounds like it could be competition. Project Dunbar, much like Ripple, aims to replace the old, slow, and expensive correspondent banking model for international transactions that is reliant upon financial institutions holding foreign currencies and often requires single payments to pass through multiple institutions before it is settled. Under Project Dunbar, there would be no need to rely on intermediaries holding foreign currency reserves, thereby decreasing the cost and time required for cross-border transactions. So ultimately, sounds like it could be, perhaps, a Ripple or XRP killer if they do go on to adopt this technology. So it seems like it's lining itself up with institutional backing against Ripple's aligned players like the Clearinghouse, whose RTP service is designed to facilitate transactions within the digital, on-the-go way we live and work today. I don't know why that's in quotes there, but that's how they decided to write it. So what does this mean, guys? And just wanted to thank Michael for bringing this to our attention. I mean, people in the XRP community are already poking holes in this theory that this could be a competitor to Ripple. The design work stream was led by Accenture, so this coming from XRP Hawaii here. How is this competition for Ripple? And so just demonstrating from that report, Project Dunbar, we can see that it was led by Accenture, which was an early Ripple funder. They support with Temasek, which I believe is also linked to Ripple in some way, shape, or form. One thing we have to point out down here, a goal of the technical work streams was to develop technical prototypes on two different DLT platforms, Corda and Quorum. Now, we also know that Corda has the ability to settle in XRP, so we have to also keep that in mind. I also just wanted to bring this up here from Jeremy Woodward. Anyone else see this article? So Jeremy, also one of those people in the XRP community that was perhaps a little concerned when he saw this article. Wrath of Kahneman down here chiming in, that's a ridiculous headline, under siege. Dunbar is a proof of concept. It could negate XRP, perhaps, if governments wanted to trust each other, which, I mean, come on, look at the political climate we're in today. Trust economic exposure to other physical policies, trust their AML/KYC, infrastructure, security, etc., and then who governs it? I think regional application only. So Wrath of Kahneman already seeing the problems with this. T-Hole Benedict XRP saying, it could also incorporate XRP. Look at R3's recent article on Dunbar, followed by its one on digital assets in Singapore. So just what I mentioned earlier, the fact that XRP could be running through R3's Corda. And there's still the whole SBI R3/SBI Ripple Connect. SBI is the largest R3 shareholder. So if SBI is also linked to R3, how can we assume that SBI is going to throw Ripple under the bus? I mean, I don't think that's in the cards. So some great insight here from T-Hole Benedict. Crypto Eddie also chiming in here. We've known about Project Dunbar since last summer. It's R3 managed with Corda on a shared ledger. She's covered it numerous times. Anders L down here saying it's FUD, move along. Fred Rispoli down here saying the author made a decent attempt, but did not complete his due diligence. The competitor payment system, as described, is a securities offering and exchange machine that would have to be overseen by Toto in one country agency, the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, and that is not going to happen. So Jeremy Woodward here, thanking everybody for their insight. FUD and biased misinformation planted. The site name is literally Crypto News BTC. So Marco Gomes over here saying that, the article that was originally published was from a Bitcoin-centric article. We used to see this a lot back in 2018 and 2019 when Bitcoin proponents were actively trying to sabotage XRP news and always kind of put a negative spin on it. As of late, we haven't seen so much of that. However, I guess, they can crop up every now and then. The one last thing I wanted to mention, and I believe it was actually, who mentioned it here? Somebody mentioned.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.